Sam Davis, Mike Calamari, and we are now joined by two very special guests here. We got Ken Charles, a sophomore guard at the time, of course, with the 70-71 team, and Jack Burik, the senior guard and one of the captains of the team. Both of you guys, thank you for being here. I guess I'll start with you, Ken. Being a sophomore with this group, what did guys like Jack and some of the captains and some of the leaders help you as a younger player, really hit your stride with this team and have the season that you did?
Well, it's interesting because in the beginning, it's just trying to fit. You come in as a sophomore. Those guys had been together the year before, so they kind of knew each other, and they didn't know my game. So it took a while for it to mesh because I'm a team guy. So I was going to try to do what I need to do, just fit in, because I knew once I got my stride, I'd be able to help the team as much as I could. But it takes a while to just get fit in, let them know you're just coming to be part of the team, not to be the team, and, be a team player. And it took a while. And it's interesting because I thought Digger didn't really have an offense for us till like November. Practice started October 15th, but we didn't have an offense till November because he just wanted to see what everyone can do. And I think that really helped us play well because the offense was geared to most of our strengths.
That's true.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys just about the start of that season. Jack, we can start with you. 11-game win streak to start that year. So you start off 11-0 before that Temple game. Just what was the buzz around the team, and did you guys expect to start off that hot?
Well, you never expect to start off that because it's the best start in probably history of this tradition-wise of this university. But to be honest with you, we knew we were going to be a good team with the addition of Bart and Kenny particularly, because they were both outstanding players. They just need a little experience. The leadership came from, the three seniors, and that's the way it should have been, and Digger, the coach, and he established the norms like Kenny said. We didn't have any out-of-bounds plays. We had no offensive sets, but we knew every move in this press, and he said, and we bought in, like he said. We had a party at the dormitory arranged by PJ, and it's just like, okay, we like this guy, we're going with him. We have no other choice, but he's got enthusiasm. We know he knows his stuff, but okay, eventually we'll get to the offense, but our game is going to be so much different from everyone else. We pressed the whole game. So the rules played a big effect here. There was no dunking allowed because of Lou Alcindor rule. But I don't think it hurt Charlie, maybe KC even, but that wasn't a big factor. What was a big factor for us was they don't have TV timeouts like they do today. So all those 6'10 and 6'11, some 7-footers we played against, their hind ends were dragging at the end of the game. They weren't going bucket to bucket. They were going top of the key, and they couldn't last the game. And we were conditioned to do just that. So we won a lot of games in the last 10 minutes. And, of course, we were outstanding foul shooters. In a history of – this is saying something. In a history of the NCAA basketball tournament, we stand as the greatest free throw shooting team of all time, 22 for 22. Can't get better than that. No one's ever been done. There's thousands of games. So that's a tribute to our team. Casey here, and I got the stats I brought with me. He's a great shooter, especially at the end of the game, as was I. And Billy Maynard was a good shooter, 80%. Charlie. So the game was over. Now, we saw the last game. I don't want, we got to make those shots. Charlton missed the 2 against Loyola and, one-on-one. You can't miss those shots. So we got to kind of like tighten that up. And I think that was a big factor. The good shooting we had, the development of these guys over the course of the season, because Bart and KC made tremendous contributions, as did Charlie. He was a great player. And Billy Maynard was our defensive guy. I was the point guard that had the ball in my hands 80%, but I had some good choices.
A lot of good guys
here.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, when we pressed and we stole the ball to score. We didn't steal the ball just to run offense.
That's a good point.
We stole the ball to score, and every steal, every turnover, we're going to score. We were not pulling it back out waiting. We had shooters, so we got the shooters. We got the ball to the shooters in the open spots. And I think that's why I really love Digger. We had a freewheeling offense. Right. You guys can do this, just do it.
Jack,
Yes.
just following up on, you talking about kind of your role in the team, talking about
my role, yeah.
Yeah, as the point guard, as one of the leaders, like we talked about. How much pride do you take in the fact that you were, the leading assist guy, and you were setting up a lot of your teammates and really providing with them good opportunities for them to score the basketball?
Well, let me tell you, that didn't happen overnight. I could score, But I chose to, like Kenny said, we're all team players. I chose in a way, like sacrifice. No, I didn't have the shot that these guys did. But they double teamed these guys. I was free low. Like, I'll give an example. Boston College game. We played, we're losing. I had 19 points in the first half because they didn't guard me. I'd make one cut, I'm open, I made the shot. I was capable of making it. I was a good shooter. Unfortunately, they didn't have three-point shooting back then. If they had, I'd have scored more. But these guys were the scorers, okay? Charlie, Casey, Bart, who am I missing out?
Sully?
Oh, Charlie, obviously he was the leading scorer. But so I chose, and it was smart of me to do that. I'm, in a way, sacrificing myself. My job is to get these guys, and I was a good ball handler. I didn't turn the ball over. And someone had to sacrifice a little bit. Well, apparently he did too.
I think the other thing with Jack being the point guard that you don't see a lot of, you didn't have to worry. We threw the ball inbounds, and we came into their position. You weren't worried about somebody taking the ball from him. He brought the ball up. He got us into our offense, and that's how we rolled. I mean, we rolled like a team. I mean,
absolutely.
By the time we got to about our 12th or 14th game, I thought the turning point of our season was after our first loss in Temple. We went up to UMass and beat Julius and them, and we beat them. It wasn't close. We just beat them in their building. People going crazy, and we just beat them. And I remember the silence on the bus coming back, only because I think we were all realizing we were pretty good.
Absolutely.
And silence after beating a team like
yes,
that?
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Being Dr. J.
The bus ride, everyone
They
was
call
just
it
so
the
quiet.
cage.
Yeah, you could just figure that everyone.
We knew. Yeah, we know. We were pretty good. So they was completely sold out. It was a little place like Fordham at the time. They eventually got, okay, you remember, the students there had half the crowd. They were there at 2 o'clock. We weren't even there yet.
That's right.
And they were attacking us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
When we
Like
got off the
students
bus.
do. And then the rest of the people came.
Attacking you guys?
Yeah.
Well,
Off the
verbally.
bus?
Verbally.
Okay, of
Coming
course,
off the bus.
yeah.
They
Coming
called
off
it
the
the
bus.
cage.
Yeah,
They called it
got
the
it,
cage.
got it.
And so, but I think seriously that I think we knew a little bit earlier than that 12th game that we were going to be good. And here's why: we beat Syracuse early on, which was the first time in years, and they were a good ball club. And what brought us together? When you look back, and I told Digger this several times over the years, I had a good connection with Digger Phelps. I felt like, and I told him this, I was an extension of you, Digger. I knew all the plays, as did these, but I had to run the show, like in terms of, like, he calls a play. We just looked at each other. We knew we're on the same wavelength.
That's right.
Okay, so I was like an extension of him. Okay, and then, everyone else had to follow what we called, basically. So, but we go down to Florida, okay, and at Florida, we played at Miami, hit the beach, we beat them. We play at Gainesville, the University of Florida. And I'll never forget this. Who in their right mind would ever play a game when you start the game with 7 technical fouls and are losing 5-0? Well, we did at the University of Florida because there was a no dunking rule. And Charlie and
couldn't dunk in the warm-ups even.
Dunking in warm-ups.
That's
But
crazy.
they were dunking the whole time, these 7-footers.
You couldn't dunk in the warm-ups.
So remember,
yeah.
the referee comes in with his southern accent and tells Digger in front of us, by the way, Digger, you guys got 7 technicals. So we're standing there on the floor watching them shoot. It's 5-0 before. Well, we were mad. And the other thing about Gainesville, and I know Kenny will back me on this was terrible. This was the Deep South. This is like Georgia, Florida, Okay, this wasn't Florida. This was Georgia. We beat them fair and square. They would not serve Kenny, Maynard, and Charlie because of their color. That's discriminatory practice. Digger said, well, the captains, what are we going to do about it? I said, we're going to all eat together, wherever. I don't care if we go to some 5 and dine store. We are eating together before we leave here. And that, don't you agree that
And I
that
didn't
brought
know
us
about
together?
that till after.
Oh, yeah, we kept it
I
quiet.
didn't know about
Really?
that till after.
Right.
Matter of fact, I heard about it when Digger was speaking somewhere and he mentioned it. I said, oh, really? All that was going on? I didn't know.
So you guys had a lot of motivation in that game.
Yeah, you know.
Between
Absolutely.
before the game with
Can
the,
you
with the
imagine
text,
that?
Yeah.
And then afterwards,
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I mean, they played with a lot of spirit that night, and that was a good team.
Yeah,
and
no,
we
they
just
yeah,
rolled them
yeah,
out.
exactly. There were a lot of games you guys had like that
Yes.
were just, like, not only did you guys win, we talked about it a little earlier, these big time programs, not only are you beating them, but you're beating them pretty handily.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you're really
I
proving.
think we were talking about in those
Yeah.
first several games, 5 or 6. I think the smallest margin of victory was like 12 points.
Well,
Yeah.
I explained the reason before.
Press, yeah.
The press, we pressed you the whole game.
Yep.
Those guys couldn't breathe. That was our game. We were laughing at them at the end of the game. It's just, we're scoring layups. They're full, they couldn't stay with us, and that's why the spread did widen. And it didn't matter if it was home or away. They would just fall apart us because we put that pressure on you. And when you play a game like that, I think Kenny would realize this and agree. I mean, he's a great athlete. I'm not a great athlete. He's a great athlete. You love playing like that, putting the other team under pressure, demonstrating your skills.
We were always on the run.
Exactly.
We were always on the run offensively, always on the run. There was no pulling it back.
That's right.
Let's go at them. So by the time we got to Notre Dame and Marquette, we yeah.
So I want to ask you, coming into the fold, 70-71, how is it establishing yourself as kind of that second scoring option, and how is that working, with Charlie on the offensive side and the entire team as well?
Well, I think one of the good things about Northeastern guys at that time is that if you see somebody can play, you want to play with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand these guys now. They don't want to play with a guy who can play, because if you can play, you can play with a guy who can play.
Exactly.
So we all just figured it out as we came along. I started making some shots, and if you start making some shots, you'll get some more shots. And I played team play. I passed the ball. I did what guys how we were taught: pass the ball. If you're not open, when you open, shoot the ball. It wasn't that complicated for
the
me.
ball didn't stop anyway.
Yeah.
It didn't stop for like 3 or 4. No,
Yeah.
It was quick decisions. Boom, boom, boom. Someone's
around.
open. Man.
Yeah,
Someone's
there
open.
wasn't a whole lot of messing around. Yeah.
Skip past
and we had
to the weak
faith in
side.
each other too. We really did.
Oh, really did.
We had each other's back too. Yeah, we really did. So the Notre Dame game was fun, and the Marquette game was fun.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, playing at MSG in front of a sold-out crowd, what was that environment like? How was that energy?
Wow.
I
can't imagine.
I don't think there are words for it yet.
Nothing
Yeah.
like that.
We show up. We're doing well, and we knew we were playing Notre Dame. I don't think we knew it was going to be sold out, but we knew it was going to be a nice crowd.
Yeah, because St. John's before
No, it
was
wasn't St. John's.
Or I'm sorry, St. John's at the
Temple.
Garden.
Usually, double headers,
was not as crowded as the Notre
right.
Dame one. It was
That's
so
right.
that makes sense
That's right,
why
right.
where it wasn't exactly sure
and
what
since
you're getting
we won
into.
the Notre Dame game,
Oh,
Yeah.
and which was just a
you couldn't get a
craziest
ticket
week
to the Marquette.
everywhere.
And it was all,
Yeah.
everyone they were blowing the roof off. They were all, you never saw anything like this. Everyone was maroon and white. The
Yeah, everywhere.
whole stand.
people-
Everyone was a Fordham
Everybody
fan.
was a Fordham fan, yeah. And then the following week when we sold it out, we knew it was going to be sold out
Right.
against Marquette, which was still just when I was in the pros and I would run into Dean, Meminger, and Jones, we would still talk about that game.
It was fantastic. And we should have won.
Yeah.
But it was a fantastic
Yeah.
game, but we deserved
We
to
had
win.
it. We had it. We were just right there. Just couldn't get over the hump, but we lost in overtime. It was a great game.
Yes.
So you talk about the game. What exactly, maybe break it down for us, because, we're kind of working off not that much information,
Yeah.
but what happened in that overtime?
I think that scored us.
Well, it wasn't the overtime.
Yeah.
The regulation.
We had it in regulation.
We never lost a game.
We had it in
We
regulation.
were despondent because we never lost a game at the end of the game. We would always put you
Something
away.
happened at the end of the game that didn't happen to any other game before.
Really?
Yeah, you know what that something was? we missed a foul shot.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of us, 3 or 4
Yeah.
that were at the line. So enough said about that. But they had Jimmy Jones at 6'11".
Yeah.
And we didn't.
Yeah,
Anyone
he
bigger
was-
than
he
you
just
see
wore us
these
down.
guys.
Yeah.
And
He
they
just
just
wore us
threw
down,
a
yeah.
high one.
Yeah.
You
He just
He
wore us
was
down.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
and you couldn't dunk. That was a tough shot. He
Yeah.
caught the ball.
Yeah.
Drops
Just
it.
just
Tied
cash,
up.
just kind of
That's
placing it.
Talking about close games, I kind of want to fast forward NCAA
Yeah.
tournament.
Yes.
Just, kind of talk about,
Okay.
being able to play in that tournament, but also, that Villanova game, close fought, hard fought game, just, kind of breaking that one
Well,
down
here's
for
the
us.
problem. It's real simple. He covered it. He was sick.
Yeah.
One of our best players. Charlie got early foul trouble.
Yeah.
So minus those two guys playing a lot of the game, and plus you got to give them credit. I mean, Billy Maynard had to watch Chris Ford, who just died, 6'5", Boston Celtic coach. There was one guy bigger than another. They had the great Howard Porter,
And Porter, yeah.
right? Who we actually won that game. You know that, because Howard Porter
Yeah.
signed with the NBA before the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember this, Kenny, but he actually ate dinner with us.
He sure did.
He came walking in He came walking in and ate dinner with us. And he didn't. I don't think he knew the difference because he just signed a multi-million-dollar deal, which no one knew about.
Right.
So he knew about it. That's why he was like, okay, he's hungry. He ate with us. No, that's a big no-no. to eat with
That's
the
the
other
only
team.
game I wish I could play over in my entire
Oh,
life.
absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, because I had no energy. I had one of those flus that was giving me that made me feel worse. I probably would have been better off just playing.
So you think fully energetic? What's that
Whole
game
different
like?
game. Whole different game, yeah.
Yeah, Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, a whole different game.
Charlie being
Yeah.
minus the many
Yeah.
minutes. And here's another thing. This is why we thought we would win that and go to the Final Four. We really did.
Yeah, we did.
Because Digger is from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He knows all these teams at Penn, okay? He knows Villanova inside out. They play at the Plester all the time. He's a Philadelphia guy.
Yeah.
He knows Villanova inside out, okay?
Yeah.
Temple, all these teams.
It's funny how this game was so long ago, and I can tell you guys are still obviously very passionate about it.
What?
Very,
Why wouldn't you be?
It
We're
never
going to the
will be.
Final
No,
Four,
Never-
man.
What?
You're never gonna forget a game like
never
that. Are you
forget.
kidding me?
No, 'cause
Yeah,
I always think about
Yeah.
I wasn't healthy.
yeah.
I would have rather been healthy and go 0 for 10.
Oh, it's
But
a miss a key
because
ingredient,
then I
man.
couldn't
That's tough.
rebound.
Right.
You know, you just couldn't. You can't run. You can't. You know,
I
the
swear, I
passes
did
that you saw, you were just half a second late. Oh,
Hey,
it was
Kenny,
just
I swear, halfway through the game, I'm ready to throw you the ball. And I said, he's not there.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a
yeah,
delay in my game.
yeah,
We reversed the
yeah,
ball. We
yeah.
penetrate and
Yeah,
dish.
we knew
well, there's no
yeah.
Kenny Charles over
Yeah,
here to make the
yeah,
shot.
Yeah.
Because
it-
Billy wasn't that great a shooter. Maynard like him, and then Charlie inside.
Yeah.